Okay, so on this video, I will be giving the strategy breakdown and how I look at the chart. Okay, so over to the MT5. I use MT5. So also, I will be looking at all of the different setup I took over the previous weeks and explaining, breaking down the strategy and what to look for, and what to do to get into the trade. Okay, without wasting much time, we're going to jump into the video. Okay, so this is gold, and on the 3rd February, just Friday, the closing week. This is one of the setup that happened on that day, and now to break down the strategy, what you are actually looking for. I'm going to give you the strategy in steps. Okay. So I'm going to take out this. Okay. So what you're actually looking for on your chart is the engulfing candle. So we make use of two time frames, the H1 and the M5, or the H4 and the M15, or the daily chart and the hourly chart. Okay, so that is basically the time frames you want to play with. Okay, so you are actually looking for your setup on the higher time frame while you are, adjusting your entry so that you can enter directly on the higher time frame, but you want to enter on the lower time frame so that you can adjust that entry to have a tight SL, a tight stop loss. All right, so you see what I mean here. So the first thing you want to do on the higher time frame, okay, depending on what you have chosen to be your higher time frame. So the first thing you want to do is to look for an engulfing candle. Okay, and as you can see, before the on the same day the market closed, you can see we had an engulfing candle here. um the dotted line here represents when a new day starts on the H1. So we saw three green candle, that is the buy candle. So my sell candle is colored in white instead. So we have three green candle buyers taking over, started the day. Okay, and then suddenly, okay, so at this point you start looking for your engulfing candle anyway, and there was no engulfing candle until this point here, this point. Yeah, this point here, as you can see. Okay, so we had this green candle, and then we have the sell candle uh, over engulfing the previous buy candle. Okay, so as soon as you get that, you now begin to mark up for your trade. Excuse me, let me roll over my screen. Okay, this is much better. So as soon as this happen, you are now preparing for your entry. So what you want to do is get a rectangle tool. So this is your engulfing candle right here. So you're going to be um highlighting from the wick to the body. Okay, or since the candle is smaller down there, um you can go from wick to wick anyway. Okay, but for low risk, you probably want to be going from body to body. Now that you have this, um um now that you have your zone set, the next thing you want to do is have your vertical line, on the next candle, just to identify where you should be looking for a retest. So the only thing you want to do is to identify on the higher time frame your engulfing candle, and then next step from that, you drop down to the lower time frame where you want to prepare your entry. All right, so the lower time frame to the H1 is the M5. Okay, so We are down here on the M5, and now you can see my vertical line right here. Okay, so what I want to do is, before the vertical line, within this box, okay, within this zone that we already have created here, you want to look for an engulfing candle inside that zone. It is important. That is, that zone, that engulfing candle that should create the zone within the zone is going to be your entry point. Okay, so this is what I mean here. Okay, before the vertical line, you can see from this area here, all inside this box is your zone. Okay, so you want to look for an engulfing candle within that zone. Okay, so this is what I mean here. An engulfing candle. This is an engulfing candle. Okay, from the wick to the body. Okay, that is an engulfing candle. So you want to look for an engulfing candle within that zone. All right, let's look at that again. Okay, so this is an engulfing candle. Okay, so I'm doing this on a mobile, and it's a little bit tricky, but this is what I mean here. Okay, so as you can see, price move out and then came back to retest that particular zone, and then the drop was huge. So that's basically how the strategy works. I'm going to take one more example, and I hope to show a live video after this. So we're going to look at another. Let's look at GBP USD. Okay, something similar happened here. The first thing you want to do is start from a higher time frame. Okay, so you need to select your higher time frame. All right, this is so important. So for this example, my higher time frame is going to be the H1, and I took this just before the close of the market, and then we had an engulfing candle right at this point here. Okay, we had an engulfing candle here, and then I'm going to place my vertical line after the engulfing candle has been formed. I'm going to place my vertical line immediately, starting from the next candle. Okay, as soon as that happens, I then drop down to the lower time frame, which is corresponding with the higher time frame we are using. So H1, the lower time frame to H1 is going to be M5. Okay, so dropping down to lower time frame. So within the zone, you will be looking for an engulfing candle. All right, within the zone, you'll be looking for an engulfing candle. So I'm going to roll over my chart so we can see something a little bit clear. Okay, so this is where the zone started. Um, just right after the vertical line, you climb up, look above into the zone. You want to look for an engulfing candle. So, okay, I like this example here because you can see we had an engulfing candle here. Okay, and your stop loss would definitely be at that point there, but price kicked out of that zone, so that would have been a loss anyway. Okay, but it happens like this. There are times when you get a zone, price within that zone, price is going to kick out of the zone, but there are still other zones you can actually get inside before price finally moves. The good thing about getting your zone inside is because on the M5 you're going to have smaller zones, and then when price moves finally, it just kicks, and then you'll be having 1 to 5, 1 to 10, risk to reward, 1 to 20, 1 to 15. So it is interesting. So since this zone got kicked out, your stop loss would have been hit. The thing is, you have to identify as many zones as possible at the time before price ever comes close. Okay, this is important. Now, if this has been kicked, you can see there are other zones here. I have another engulfing. This is another engulfing bearish engulfing candle pattern right there here, as you can see. And as you can see, it has not been violated yet. You can see, although it has been tested, but it has not been violated yet. So it is still a workable zone. So I'm going to have my second zone at this point. As you can see, my second zone will be here. And you see, price just came right into, after breaking the first one, it came right into the second one, and then all through it was a blast. Now, can you see the risk to reward here on this trade? I mean, look at where you entered from that small zone right there, and then look at the drop. This is huge. This is huge. So that is the strategy. Again, it is as simple as that. All you are looking for is an engulfing candle, okay, and you are making use of two time frames. Now this is what I want to now you may ask, why do we make use of two time frame? Can't I just jump in on the on just one time frame, making use of one time frame? Yes, you can do that. You can actually do that. um as soon as you get an engulfing candle, you can set a pending order at this point here, somewhere around this point, and price can just come inside, trigger, and then drop. But then your stop loss is going to be above here, okay, above this area right there. Your stop loss is going to be there, and which is fine in this particular case, okay. But doing it in this other way reduces the SL greatly, okay. Even if one of the zone was broken, but we got another zone and we moved. So that is huge. You can actually jump in on one time frame, and but you can do it the other way where you reduce the risk. So if price should move, you just nail it. So if there's any question, you can share your question with me. i will be I'll be happy to I'll be happy to reply. And I will be, if you don't mind, I will be dropping more live videos. I'll be doing live videos this week, and then I'll be dropping more and more live videos when it is happening. Okay.